Hello everyone, how are you doing? This card I actually bought a long time ago, back before I really started doing these kind of videos on the channel. I think I bought this one actually in February, around All Be One. But it is a Brothers War Serialized Mesmeric Orb. I've had this one for a good bit now, but since our last video where I opened the Mox Diamond did so freaking well, I thought I'm gonna start doing these from now on. It's just gonna be something we do. Talk about every chase and expensive reserve list card that we buy. So I made a lot of points, and I'm really gonna go about of the serialized versus reserve list topic. I've kind of went over that in two videos in a row. We might pick that up when we get some more subs to the channel, some more new people to come about. The foiling on these is stunning, always nice. I think the last thing people complain about Magic is the art and how beautiful the cards turn out constantly. There aren't, I don't like every single border and every single frame that comes out, but by goodness, if they don't make cards absolutely gorgeous 99% of the time. So if we're not going to talk about the reserve list versus serialized cards in a serialized card video, what are we going to talk about? One aspect of serialized cards that I think people are not fully addressing and don't realize yet is that they're all just about as rare as each other. Now, you can argue that for every single mythic and every single rare. I think I'm done playing with the foiling on camera, so I'm just about to put it in our $1,000,000 little stand. Not sponsored, by the way. Oh, I like that foiling. I like the way that looks. So, every serialized card is equally as rare as each other. And that's kind of always been the case. Things have been rare, things have been mythic. There's been sort of tinfoil hat conspiracies about how certain cards are rarer than others, even though they're just a rare, just a mythic. And you can get into that all you want, but I'm assuming, for the sake of everything, that all those cards have the same print amount. Whether you do or you don't, it doesn't matter. So my angle with buying serialized cards, and obviously I bought the serialized Atraxa, my strategy is to buy cards that are niche. Like Mesmeric Orb doesn't go in every single commander deck. It just doesn't. It's not that powerful in every deck. You can't slap it in anything you want. You can't slap it in everything. But the decks that it goes in are absolutely, it works this card to the bone, bro. There are certain decks you can build with Mesmeric Orb that put it through the ringer. Especially the mono blue commander that mills people for twice that amount. That'd be really good if your deck has an Eldrazi Titan, because it mills the opponents twice as much, but when your deck mills, it just shuffles back into your own deck. So, very powerful effect in certain decks. This card's obviously great in graveyard-centric strategies that just try to put as many cards in the graveyard as possible. Especially in Commander, you just sort of you just vomit your hand onto the table, and it lets you put a bunch of, creatures and whatnot, everything that's supposed to be in your graveyards in your graveyard. And hopefully everything that's supposed to be in your hands in your hand. So that's sort of my strategy moving forward. I plan to buy cards that go in one or two decks instead of every deck. And that way I think you can get a diversified portfolio of some serialized cards. And I think if you do build a deck around serialized cards, which I'm a player first, investor second, most of the cards that I buy, I'm going to play in decks. Every single card that I buy, I have the intention of putting it in something just about. There are some reserve list cards that are like a couple bucks I just buy because I like the art and they're reserve list and yada yada yada. Sometimes I just buy reserve list cards from certain sets so I can compare and contrast how they look to other ones. But 90% of the time when I buy a card, especially one of this price point. I'd say only one of this price point. I buy it with the intention of putting it in a deck. So I think if you want any serialized cards, I think it's sort of time to... Of course, everyone wants the Atraxa, the Jin-Gitaxias, the Ragavans, the cards that go in every deck, the Chromatic Lanterns, but I think you can snipe some really good deals and some really low price points, comparatively, of course, that you can get a serialized card and have it really shine and sort of acknowledge that it's a powerful card, even though it doesn't belong in every deck. I think those are the kind that I'm going to stick with buying. Now, every once in a while, when it's a card I really want, like how I explained in the Atraxa video, when I bought that, I really like Atraxa. So, it's not necessarily comparative. I just sort of did that because I really wanted it. But from the future, and until there's another expensive one that I really want, I mean, I want them all, but you know what I'm saying, that I'd be willing to park some capital into, I'm gonna stick with the more niche, go in like 1 or 2 deck kind of cards. And then by doing that, I think it adds a layer to the deck that's really cool. Because when this deck pops off and Mesmeric Orb is popping off, it'll be my Serialized Mesmeric Orb. Not just already using a niche card that doesn't see much play. Now I'm breaking that card, and it's also the serialized card. I just think that's a really interesting aspect. As far as where I think serialized cards will go from here, I'm actually surprised that they haven't gone down any lower. I think it's very interesting. I really thought that they would come out and sort of be this amazing, everyone's gonna FOMO, they're all gonna be a grand a piece, even the uncommons. And the ones we're talking about right now that aren't, don't get used in every deck, I thought even the bad ones that don't see play, that wouldn't see play in draft, I thought those ones were even gonna be FOMO'd at and be more expensive than they should have been. But that's just flat out not the case. I think that they're sort of stable. Whenever one is below the other ones by a substantial margin, people usually buy it, especially if it's a more expensive one like Atraxa. If you open an Atraxa and you just want to get rid of it for like $600, I guarantee it'll be gone in a day or two. Same thing with Jin-Gitaxias. You list it for $900, it'll be gone in a day, which I think is really interesting. I think another interesting thing about moving forward is, what are these going to be like trading hands? Because there's a lot of Zendikar expeditions in comparison to Fetchland, there's a lot of Zendikar expeditions in comparison to serialized cards. And those trade hands fairly often, so how often are we actually going to see these trade hands? Because I can tell you right now, I'm not coming off any of my serialized cards unless someone offers me like a stimulus check worth of money, or like you got 7 kids tax return level. Like, I'm just not gonna sell any of them unless, obviously I would rather not to be homeless than own Magic cards, but assuming I don't screw my whole life up or something catastrophic happens to me, knock on wood, that nobody could have prepared for, I'm just not gonna. You'd have to offer me a real pretty penny to come off this card. And I don't know if everyone's gonna have that mindset. Of course, there'll be people with different ones, flippers, yada yada, but I'm really curious moving forward how many people are buying these to hold them forever, kind of like I am, unless someone offers you a crazy amount for it. But I know I'm not changing hands with these for anything less than $1,000. I don't care if that makes me laughed at, or, laughed at. You can laugh at that all you want, but that's just sort of where I'm at with it. I don't want to trade hands with these. I don't want to sell them. I think they're amazing. I think they'll age really well. I think moving forward, I'm going to be just as excited as looking back. This is a really cool way to add value into modern product, and I'm here for it, truly. I don't agree with everything the company does. Magic 30, cough. I don't agree with everything the company does, but by God, do they make an excellent card game. So, if there's something worth collecting, I'm here for it. I really am. So, please subscribe if you like this kind of content. From the other videos on my channel, it looks like y'all really like this. I'm going to continue to buy this. I'm going to continue to put my money where my mouth is, responsibly, of course. Make sure your bills are paid and you got stocks and crypto and blah yada yada before you worry about this kind of crap. But that's where I'm at with it. I hope someone else, if you really want to be there with it, that you get blessed and you work hard as you can. That's the thing, man. Work as hard as you can. I don't care if it's making money or working out or running marathons or challenges, starting a business, a YouTube channel. I don't care what it is, man. Just work as hard as you can. And that's all you can do, man. I promise you'll be happier than you were yesterday. If you work as hard as you can today, tomorrow you'll be happier than you were today. I promise you that.